So today I'm backtesting an indice, obviously as you can see US30. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to look on a line chart. We want to see exactly where our weekly highs and weekly lows are, right? As you can see over here, we have a clear high and a clear low from our previous week. So let's go and have a look here. So we will be drawing our weekly high like this, right? And we're going to be drawing our weekly low. No, wrong one. There we go. Now, you were probably wondering, how did I manage to find that? Well, you literally just pull up your line chart. You can clearly see where highs and lows are. As soon as you can identify that, straight away you can go and draw your lines on. As you can see, nice little high over there, nice little low over there. And boom, we have our weekly low and our weekly high. Go down to a daily chart. Do exactly the same thing. You can pull up your line chart, clear high over here and a clear low over here. Go back and we can go and draw in our daily high and our daily low. Perfect. Now once we've done that, you can do a couple things actually. You can go and do this on the 4-hour chart and the 1-hour chart. However, for me personally, I don't like to do that because it messes my charts up a little bit. And yeah, there's no need to do that, especially when you're trying to work. So I go straight down onto a 15-minute, okay? Because let's actually just go into daily. I want to show you guys something. Now, personally, I believe, as you guys can see, we have created a bit of a low over here. We did not go and break the highs. We did not go and break these highs over here with these candles. So what I'd imagine is we have some kind of pullback into around this area before we continue down to the weekly low. Now from there, we could potentially see price find an order block and react off of it, break some structure to the upside and then find an entry up there. Or we can see the retracement and potentially catch a very nice short position down into the weekly low. Right, with that in mind, let's go down onto a 15-minute chart so we can kind of begin to watch price. Because at the end of the day, price is exactly what we are trading, so we need to understand why it's doing what it's doing. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen here on the 15-minute chart. Okay, we continue to break structure to the upside. Now we begin to break some structure to the downside. Okay, now judging by the 15-minute chart, we have some imbalance up here and we have some imbalance over here. Okay, so what we can now do is go and draw in an order block like this, and you can potentially even draw an order block in over there like this. Okay, now judging by the way we've broken structure now to the downside, break these lows, I don't necessarily see us coming all the way back up to test these highs. I might be wrong, but we more than likely will see it come back to test over here. Okay, so let's see how price begins to play out over here. All right, now again we are waiting for our retracement up to mitigate some imbalance before we continue down to the weekly lows. Okay, now you can see we've broken structure on the 15-minute chart. Let's go into the 5-minute chart. Maybe we can try and refine this order block. Okay, so you can see imbalance comes all the way up to that area of 35,130. Okay, so I'd imagine if we were going to place an entry, we would be placing it anywhere between the bottom of this order block and that last bit of imbalance. Okay, judging by the 5-minute, you can see we actually don't have any imbalance up here. It's all gone. So this for me would be a much better potential entry area. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete this order block. I'm going to go up to the 15-minute chart, and now you can do one of two things. You can place a full 1% entry on the bottom of this order block with your stop loss just on top of it like that, or you can split your entry. You can go 0.5% on the bottom of the order block, and then another 0.5% at the last bit of imbalance there. So we would have one entry just like this, okay, and then another one just like that. Okay, so for me personally, I think this may be a better option. Yeah, necessary. I don't believe I'll get a better risk to reward out of this. However, I would prefer to have a full 1% get entered into the market than, you know, price come up here and potentially, and maybe actually not. So we'll just have to see what happens. Okay, so let's play price again and see what's happening. And if you guys would like to see more videos like this, I'd appreciate you guys absolutely obliterating that like button and joining me, the family here, by subscribing. That would be greatly appreciated. But anyway, we can see price. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Right, you can see how close price came to our order block over here. Now, I don't believe I'm going to delete this order, and the reason for that is between where my mouse is now and that blue line, there's still imbalance there. Okay, and we did not mitigate this order block at all, so I'm still going to keep my entry there. I do believe we will see it come back there in the future, so let's maybe move this a little bit further down the line. Let's see what happens. Okay, remember, we're still targeting weekly lows here. You guys can see already we've waited a very long time for this one to play out. So this would be a 1 to 23 risk to reward. Now, for me, invalidating this trade would mean we are not going to get an inch. If it touches the weekly low here, I'll delete this. If it doesn't, I do believe I'll still see that entry. Now, another potential entry for me could be this area over here. Okay, so let's just see how price reacts off of that area. But for now, we're still just gonna watch price. If we see price tap into this area over here, what I would like to see is some structure broken on a lower time frame before we can enter. Otherwise, I still strongly stand behind this entry area over here. Okay. Now, currently, we have waited, how long is this? 4 days for this to play out. So you guys can see how patient you need to be sometimes when trading this way. And at the end of the day, for a 1 to 23 risk to reward ratio trade, I do believe that it is worth it. So yeah, at the end of the day, I don't always trade US30, and that's purely just because of sometimes how slow it can be. I know that's a funny thing to say, but I do tend to find more opportunities to trade on currencies, and I think maybe that's just purely because of the way I like to trade. I don't like to, enter into the market without proper confluence, especially on something. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Okay, that didn't pause as fast as I would have liked. Let's go back here. Now we can clearly see that price has tapped into this order block. Okay, let's go down onto our 1 minute chart. We can clearly see price has gone and tapped into this order block. Okay, now what we can now do is see that structure has been broken right here. Okay, so we can now actually look for an entry. So let's see what that would look like. Okay, so you can do a couple things here. You can try and get the best possible entry here. Let me just pull that through like this. There would be our order block. Okay, obviously this is a 1 minute chart, very refined. So let's see how this would look. Okay, and then we bring our stop loss. Now you can either have your stop loss just on top of the order block like this, or maybe just above those highs. Let's be very bullish on this one and have it as tight as possible. Let's see how price plays out here. Okay. Look at that. Perfect. So let's take this all the way down to our weekly lows. Where is it? There we go. Okay, as you guys can see, like how refined that got. We waited, well, we have been waiting now for, let's calculate this. No, it's even longer than that. There we go. We have waited. We've waited. Why is this not showing? From the 9th of September to the 14th of September. 5 whole days for the setup to be presented. Okay. And currently we have a 1-to-56 trade that's currently running. So let's see how this plays out. Personally, there was a sniper entry. Okay, now management wise, I believe if we see this low broken over here, let me just zoom in a little bit. If we see this low over here broken, what I would like to move my stop loss to entry. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Okay, we have a break and close below. So you can either move your stop loss to entry, or you can move it below this low or this high over here, should I say. That high over there. Okay, I'm just going to label this stop loss. There we go. So by doing that, we will have locked in around a 1 to 3 in and around there. Okay. Now let's see how this plays out. Let's go down to a 15-minute chart, then we can see how this finishes. Cool, look at that. Just an absolute sell-off. Okay, let's just look at this. Now, with US30, I know the nature of it. I wouldn't really want to move my stop loss too low. However, what you can do, obviously we continue to break structure further and further and further down. So what you could possibly do is you would have your stop loss in and around there, which would lock in, let's see, yeah, that would have locked in a 1 to 30 RR. Okay, and that's literally just from moving your stop loss. All you've done is hold. So you've waited now for 5 days for this trade, and you've only held it for, what's that, 1 hour, 2 hours. You've held it for 2 hours and you've locked in a 1 to 30. So that basically means if you risked 1% on your account, you're now up 30% at minimum. So let's think about it. It's taken a whole week to find this trade and you currently have 30% on account. If you think about it, imagine what that is on a $100,000 funded account. That's $30,000, okay, in 1 week, just because you've patiently waited for a trade and taken it. And look at that entry on a 1 minute chart, how sniper that is. Okay, so we've locked that in potentially. Personally, as I say, I wouldn't want to lock that in, but if you guys would like to, you can. So my stop loss would still either be up here or just above there. Okay, so let's go on to the 15-minute chart again and let's play this. And we have just tapped into our take profit, just like that. So for anyone who said that smart money concepts don't work on indices, well, you can clearly see that they do, and it doesn't necessarily take a lot of work. It takes a hell of a lot of patience. There were plenty times you could have entered, plenty times you, like for example, we definitely could have entered on this order block, but we would never have got the same risk to reward ratio trade as we did from waiting for this 1 minute entry. And you guys can clearly see, like, even if you did lock in a 1 to 30, like I said over here, okay, you can see price never came back to it. It never ever touched it. Why? Because our bias was right in seeing on the weekly chart that price needed to come further down to touch the weekly lows. Okay, all that happened here is we had our massive engulfing candle get filled by this wick, and that's where we entered. It was absolutely perfect. So I really appreciate you guys staying to the end of this video. If you did, please smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and I cannot wait to bring more content like this to you guys. Please let me know if there's any other suggestions you would like to see, and in the future I will definitely be bringing some more videos, maybe regarding affiliate marketing, dropshipping. I've tried all of them in my past, but other than that, again, I really appreciate your guys' support, and peace. Check you guys next time.